something, you know? I genuinely think YT is the issue. The map and bug reports are portraying to slow list login issues. Yeah, it could be. Alright, so it's saying it's live now. Alright. So you guys, if it starts getting really crappy and buffering and all that, just scream at the top of your lungs at me, okay? Because I cannot make you guys watch that. That is madness. But let me, I'm gonna give it a few more minutes and then I'm gonna notify the Discord that we are live everywhere again. And while we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and read another Reddit story, baby. Let's do it. I wanna do it, and I'm selfish, so we're gonna do it. Alright, where is the page with all the... There we go! Alright. So we did that one, get that out of here. We don't need you anymore. Alright. So while we're doing this, I'll also be testing to see if everything is working the way it should. Alright. Alright! So as long as we're not buffering, you guys can hear me good. We can move on to the next story. So let's see what happens. We probably won't have time to play the game today. We might play that next Saturday. But I do really want to play that. Okay, so buckle up. We're going to play the game. I must play. Hail Vox Populi? What's that? Populi? Hail Vox Populi? What? Is that his last name? Alright, anyway, let's do the next one. It's another art-related one, alright? This time it's not... Oh, okay, it's one of the songs there. I gotta be honest, I did like the songs from the second one, or from the first one more than the second one. Not in that I think the songs in the second one were bad by any means. But I do know that when I watched the first season, some of the songs were like stuck in my head immediately, and they were like very, very memorable, if that makes sense. The second one, a lot of them I kind of forgot after watching, if that makes sense. But I don't want to like critique the show for that, because having to make like 5 songs per episode that are catchy and great sounds impossibly difficult to me. So I wouldn't even consider it like a critique of the season. But I do know for me personally, the songs in the first season were more like catchy. But the second ones are still really good. Don't get me wrong. We should rank our favorite songs from both season 1 and season 2. So my all-time favorite one that I have is from the first season called the Loser one. That one's my all-time favorite. That one's so good. I'm a loser, baby. That one's top tier. I love it. It's so good. It's so unique, and it's the video of it is great. That one I think is my favorite. That being said, I need to watch the second season again, because I've only seen it once, and I've seen the first season like a million times. So I'll get a better idea once I watch it a little bit more. But alright, my lovelies. Let's read this next story and see how it goes, okay? I hate to do it now because a lot of people haven't joined back yet, but can't just be sitting here not doing nothing, you know what I mean? Okay, I do think the service is, I'm between Loser Baby and Love in a Bottle. Yeah, whenever I see TikToks of it, they usually have the Love in a Bottle song in the background, I've noticed. That one didn't hit quite as much for me as Loser, but it's still good. It's still a good song. I like that they referenced the Loser one in that song. I swear to God, if Husk and Angel Dust don't get together already, I'm gonna lose my mind. We all know it's gonna happen, alright? Just go on. Alright. That. I'm so sorry for all the @Doodlers. This is the last time, I promise. If it ends up having issues, I'll just end it for the night. Okay, don't worry. But I do want to let people know we're live everywhere. Alright. Yep, there we go. Alright. I think, current bitrate. I don't like that it's saying that. It's not saying it's having an issue, but it's talking about a current bitrate thing on YT. What does that even mean? The stream's current bitrate is 5,000, blah, blah, blah. It's higher than the recommended bitrate. Oh, it's okay. So it's asking me to turn the bitrate down. What does bitrate mean? Does anybody know what that means? I don't understand stuff. Help. Mochi, you're over there. You're in YT land. How is it looking over there, Mochi? Is it okay? Is it buffering for you or anything like that? I think we're okay now. Master, you came back. How are you doing today? I'm doing good, Startoons. We are about to read a art-related Am I the Butthole story. We were doing that earlier, but then I don't know if it was the servers of the websites or my internet or whatever. It crashed and burned, but I think we're back and we're good now. So we're going to do some more before we end it for today. It looks great at the moment. All right, thank you. All right, sweet. All right, let's go ahead and do it, baby. Let's see if this person is the naughty. All right. Pray that I don't stutter, please. I need your prayers. All right, so this one is called Am I the Naughty for Deciding to quote-unquote fix the errors I made in a blanket I crocheted for someone and taking it back instead? Okay, interesting. All right. All right, I made a blanket for my sister-in-law, Amanda. I was able to give it to her last weekend. She'd asked for it in certain colors. I didn't have any other projects on my to-do list, so I was happy to make it for her. I had most of the colors already too, so it worked out. When I gave it to her, she was excited and she started to look it over. I figured it was to see how it was put together since she didn't crochet. After a little bit, she said she loved the blanket, but she couldn't help but notice some of the little mistakes I had made along the way. All right, hold on now. I don't know about all that. Okay. I asked her what she meant, and she pointed out some things like I'd accidentally done one row of stripping instead of 3 for one section. I'd switched to the wrong color and threw off a pattern at some point, etc. Yeah, I'm not feeling this sister-in-law right now, I'm gonna be honest, but we gotta continue reading, okay? She handed it back to me and told me she loves my progress with it, and I couldn't wait to see the finished product. I told her it was finished. She looked down at it and said it wasn't done until it was perfect, and I'd made several mistakes that I could easily go back and correct. All right, we could end the story right now, because no, absolutely not. You can give me my blanket back and you don't deserve a blanket anymore. Who in the heck would say that? Alright, get it. I was honestly dumbfounded by this, as you should be. Alright, I shouldn't be biased until I'm like done with it. Alright, sorry. Told you I'm a little too passionate sometimes. I was honestly dumbfounded by this. I hate the way perfectionists try to force their quirk onto others. I made this blanket for her for free out of my own free time because I love her. I told her that. She said she knows and she loves me for it, but that she wouldn't be able to use it because she wouldn't be able to focus on anything but the mistakes. I said whatever and took the blanket back and said if she doesn't want it, I'll keep it. She looked surprised and said that she does want it. She just wants my best work and not something half-aid. Okay. I told her that if she thinks me crocheting a whole effing blanket and making minimal errors is half-aiding it, I'd rather just keep the blanket. She's so upset with me and told me I was acting ridiculous and that it wouldn't take me long to fix it. If you know anything about crochet, you know that if I made an error on a row 36 out of 1,115 row blanket, that's essentially starting over again. So I know nothing about crocheting, but that is also what I assumed was the case. Anyway, I come to you all, LOL, am I the naughty? I feel like this one's pretty obvious, but what do you guys think? You can see pointing out things if you 1, paid for the dang thing, and 2, actually crocheted. Okay to spell it. Yeah, okay, so that's a good point. If she paid for it, that might be a little different. That might be different. That would change things. But she didn't. You know what I mean? Let's read some of the top comments here. I have a feeling that we're all gonna be on the same page with this one. I hope you guys are furious like I am, because I'm furious right now. Alright, top comment. You aren't being ridiculous. She definitely was. Super not the butthole. What she might be missing is that there's no fixing an error like you described in crochet. You either start over or pull out the stitches back to the point of error to resume from there. Yeah, that, again, I've never crocheted, but that is my understanding. She couldn't be a gracious recipient of a heartfelt, thoughtful, homemade gift that shows something about her. If she requires perfection, that's pretty incompatible with homemade. That's a good point. That is a very good point. Not to mention super dismissive and presumptuous of her not to prioritize the hard work and hours that went into making it. Given that she's a member of your family and you probably don't want a long-term rift, I would hold my ground but try to diffuse it. Just explain repeatedly if necessary that it's too bad your gift didn't work out, but no hard feelings. Do not feel forced to start again or fix the blanket in any way. Try not to create drama or judgment over her for it. Believe me, her response to this whole thing stands alone. And don't offer to make her anything in the future, that's for sure. Not the naughty. 3 times. Edit to add. By no hard feelings, I want to clarify, I'm focusing primarily on how I suggest OP express her feelings to the others in the family for the purpose of peacemaking. My personal take is that sister-in-law's actions stand alone, and if OP keeps an unemotional and doesn't engage in any back and forth about it, that would be best. I would certainly be offended by sister-in-law's words and behavior, though. So I think people are giving them crap, like, she shouldn't have to make peace. I will say, personally, I think you guys have heard my perspective on this before. I do not think you should ever have to tolerate disrespect from family members. A lot of people have the mentality, especially older generations, where if your family's being disrespectful to you or treating you poorly, you just kind of have to accept it and move on because they're family. I think that's been a mentality for a long time, and I vehemently disagree with that. I think you are only my family if you treat me like family. I have friends that are actual family compared to family members that I literally have. You know what I mean? And I'm a little bit more confrontational than a lot of people. I totally understand wanting to make peace and just live a peaceful life. I absolutely understand that 100%. Personally, though, I'm just the type where I'm not going to make peace with you for the sake of peace. If you're disrespecting me like this, I'm not interested in just letting it go and letting you feel like you did nothing wrong. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say that was messed up what you did. And it really hurt my feelings that I put that much work into making this for you. And you did nothing but critique it and tell me to fix it. You know. But again, I understand someone who, a lot of people would just want to make peace and not deal with it, and I respect that. Personally, I wouldn't do that. I have no need to make peace with you to make you more comfortable and everybody else uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I was disrespected, and that's what matters. But that's just me personally. I know that's maybe not the norm. Delete the whole sister-in-law. Yes, dude, I agree with that 100%. Not for real would have made me mad too. Dude, that is like, I think it's interesting that she put in the perspective of like the perfectionist element. I don't know if any of you guys are a perfectionist or no perfectionist. I am the furthest thing from a perfectionist, right? Let me make that very clear. I have worked with some perfectionists, and they are very picky. Maybe picky isn't the right word, but like they'll point out little things that I wouldn't even see in my commissions. That being said, for me, they are paying me money. And sometimes I genuinely can't see it until they point it out. So I am never offended in a commission where they're giving me money to fix something that someone who has an eye for detail and is a perfectionist notice and tells me. They're like, hey, there's a line right here that, and it could be like the tiniest little thing. It's like, how did you even see that? But I would never be offended by someone that is paying me money to ask me to fix something I made for them. 1000%. This is completely different. This is a gift, girl. This is a, as they said, homemade gift, girl. All right? I'm sorry, you just don't have the right I mean, you know, she does have the right, but you should not say, you need to take this back and fix it because I'm such a perfectionist that'll just, it's almost like they think it's like a cute, quirky trait. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that being a perfectionist can't be quirky and cute or whatever, but it's not when you're just hurting someone's feelings. You know what I mean? For the sake of being quirky and cute. That's kind of how they made it seem in their post. And I wonder if that's kind of what's happening. Like, it wouldn't actually super bother her, but she thinks it's cute to be a quirky perfectionist. So she's, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter in the end, because in the end, it's really crappy what they did. And I feel really bad for the creator of the post. Let me see. We got any other top comments? Let's see. This one says, I knit. I know an error I made in row 12 isn't fixable unless I undo everything above row 12 and re-knit it. Obviously impossible if the work has already been cast off. And again, this is a gift, girl. Why? You do not need to do all that work for a gift. I mean, unless it's important to you. You know what I mean? You know how much I would love a knitted blanket? I'm a blanket connoisseur, you guys. Like, ask my boyfriend. I am obsessed with blankets. I would be so happy if someone knitted me an entire blanket. I would cherish it. It could be the messiest thing you've ever seen, and I would love it. Because that's so much work someone put in just to give to me. I would never even consider pointing out a flaw. I would, even if it's like a really obvious flaw, I would pretend that flaw doesn't exist with all my might. Like, it would never happen, bro. Ugh, okay. Oh yeah, continuing. Your next gift to miss it has to be perfect should be How to Crochet book, a couple of different size hooks, and a nice section of yarn. Or maybe you can get an actual kit. Give it to her with great excitement and gush about how much you've been looking forward to spending time crocheting with her and how thrilled you'll be when she can match your stitch for stitch. Inform her how satisfying it will be for her to crochet her own perfect blanket to make to her own standards. Lucky Amanda. That's a little petty, but I love it. Not the butthole. I really admire anyone who can crochet. That's the thing, bro. I feel like maybe now that I'm like on ADD medicine, but like it seems like a lot of work and a lot of tedium, and then doing design, like just doing like one color blanket sounds like it'd be a lot of work, let alone doing a design in there. Good Lord, man. You're not the naughty. She is being rude, ungrateful. She's quoting what she said in it. She looked surprised and said that she does want it. She just wants my best work and not something half-aid. See, that's really, like, it was already blindingly offensive by that point, but that really sent it over the line to where it's not like, it's not quirky and cute. Like, she could maybe, someone could see it that way, but as soon as she said the half-A line, like, you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying the curse word, but half-aid. That is where it's like, I cannot comprehend a world where you are not intentionally insulting me. Like before, it's like, oh, she's just being a perfectionist. She doesn't mean any harm. You cannot say the sentence to someone and not know for a fact that you are insulting me, if that makes sense. Like, you can't just say something like that and not think it'd be insulting, you know? So, like, I think any innocence the sister-in-law has for just being a perfectionist, I think is thrown in the garbage after this comment right here. I would tell her to take a flying leap. She can pay someone to make her one and find out real fast what your effort was worth the money. That's a good point too. Yeah, I'm sure people make some good money making stuff like that. Or if she can learn to crochet and find out how hard it is to make a blanket. True. All right, so I think this one's pretty straightforward. I think we all kind of agree. Let's see. Accidentally left Mochi. No! Are you streaming on Purple App too? I am. I'm streaming on Purple App, and I'm streaming on TikTok, baby. All the places. You can join us anywhere you like. We normally we doodle, but today we're doing some doodle-related Reddit posts because I have been dying to do it for a while now. All right, so I think that one's pretty clear. I don't think anybody disagrees. My mom didn't say the family thing, but your grandma's old. Just ignore it. And just ignore it. As said, grandma gave me so much trauma. Yeah, absolutely not, Gummy. Absolutely in my personal opinion, absolutely not. You do not have to put up with your grandmother if she treats you badly. I do not care how related to her you are. You do not owe yourself being disrespected for anyone. And I really think, this is a side tangent, but I really think crappy people use the quote-unquote family excuse to be able to treat people like crap and take advantage of them. Because, oh, well, your family, you have to put up with me treating you like crap. Absolutely not. Nope. And again, it's like a weird mentality that older generations had that I think we're just now kind of getting past, if that makes sense. Because I do think up until very recently, that was the accepted norm. Like, if your family treats you like crap, that's just too bad. They're your family. You have to accept it. And I am very happy personally that we are evolving past that point. Because I think a lot of people are understanding, oh, just because you're related to me, you can't treat me like dirt every day. You know, just cut them out. Cut them out. You'll be much happier. I cut out some family members a long time ago, and I haven't thought twice. It's been great. I don't owe them a darn thing. All right. Thank you, Gummy. Thank you for posting the link. Let me pin that over there in YT lands. Little, boom. All right, there we go. Let's see. I didn't once I grew more frontal lobe. Jokes on grandma though. I outlived her. You can still laugh. She was a jerk to animals too. Oh, okay. All right. Appreciate the context. That helps. Appreciate it. Yep. I was never very close to my grandma. She was never that bad though, I gotta say. But I was never close to her. She's a little mean. You know what I mean? But not that bad. She was nice to her dogs. But it is kind of funny. It's not funny, but it is. It's only funny in that the meme cracks me up because it happened with my dad. But it's not funny in that it shouldn't happen, where it's like, if you let your parents or your grandparents babysit your pet, when you come back, the pet's gonna be super fat. You know what I mean? So she was good to her dogs, but all of her dogs were morbidly obese. Because old people, they just can't, I don't know. They always be making them chunky. I don't know what it is. And it's not funny. Animals shouldn't be obese. It's not cute for them to, I mean, physically it's cute, but they shouldn't be because it's not healthy. But the meme, just the meme itself that like older, like parents and grandparents always make your pets fat when you let them babysit. I went on the road with my boyfriend for a few months and my dad was watching my cats. And when I came home, my cat Ichi was so fat. She was I've never seen any of my cats that fat before because he just kept giving her Cool Whip every day. Oh, it's so funny. And now she, like, I swear she probably loves him more than me because I won't give her Cool Whip. And she's just like, bring me back to grandfather. I was so happy back then. I'm sorry. I know it's not funny, but oh god, it cracks me up, the idea of it. Mugsy, what's up, Mugsy? Mugsy, we're doing Reddit stories. We're doing Am I the A-hole stories, art related. We just read one that was really obvious and everybody agrees, but we're about to read another one. And I got sidetracked by parents and grandparents making our pets fat when they babysit. All right, let's see. What time is it? Oh, okay. We'll do one more and then we'll call it. All right, doodlers? So this one is... Let's see here. Apparently they're trailing an implant for fat cats. That's basically... Oh, really? Goodness. I know with some cats it's hard because there are some cats out there that are kind of like dogs where they're like food obsessed. And that's when it's hard to kind of... Because I've never had a problem keeping my cats from getting obese, but they also aren't food motivated, so they just eat when they're hungry and that's it. So at most they're like a little plump. The only time Ichi got fat, again, is when my dad was babysitting her. But I do know cats that are food motivated. It can be a lot harder to keep them in shape. So that's interesting. Okay. But alright, the last post of the night. This one actually isn't art related. I thought I did an art related one. Yeah, this one. This is what I want. Alright. Birthday cakes, baby. I used to be a cake decorator, so I got experience, alright? I got the... What's the word? I got the credentials to have opinions on this one. I was a cake decorator for years. Alright. Am I the naughty for making my sister's gender reveal cake gray because she wouldn't tell me the gender? Wait, what? Am I the naughty for making my sister's gender reveal cake gray because she wouldn't tell me the gender? How are you making the cake if you don't know the gender? I don't understand. I have to understand. Did she take it upon herself to make this gender reveal cake and the mom was like, no, I don't want you to? I bet it's something like that. That would make sense. I, 23 male, bake as a hobby, and I'm actually pretty good at it. Like, I get paid under the table for weddings and baby showers. Kind of good. All right, dang. I always wonder how people manage to start a business like that, because I would have liked to, but, like, how do you even start, you know? Anyway, my sister is pregnant and wanted me to make the cake for her gender reveal. Cool, no problem. I asked her to send me the info so she could prep the inside classic pink filling or blue filling. She says, oh no, I want to be surprised too. Just make it neutral for the reveal and we'll find out together. I was like, huh? So you want a gender reveal cake with no gender revealed? She says she'll have someone email the info to me later. Okay. That someone never did. Okay, so he was supposed to know the gender reveal before he made it, but he never got the email telling him what it was. Okay. The deadline comes, I still have no gender, so I make the cake. It's gray inside, gray outside, just full on cement vibes. I even added a little fondant clouds for effect. It still tasted great, but visually grim as heck. The reveal day comes, they cut into it, and my sister looks pissed. Her husband is confused. People start murmuring. Then she pulls me aside and asks, why would you make it gray? That's so passive-aggressive. I calmly reminded her that no one told me the gender. I literally had no data to work with. I told her I wasn't about to guess or go full improv on somebody's birthday cake. Now my mom says I embarrassed her in front of the family and that I should have tried harder. Tried harder to do what? Summon the gender through vibes? So am I the naughty for making the most neutral reveal cake in history? And then we gotta edit, y'all. I love the edits. The edits are always after they got some feedback, so we kind of know where they're doing. You know what I mean? Edit. I actually did follow up, asked her a couple days before the reveal if the info had been sent, and she just said something like, yeah, someone's taking care of it. I figured it was handled. I didn't want to pester her since she seemed chill about it at the time. Alright. I got an opinion, but it might be different for you guys. Let's see. Did he mention to her that no one gave him the info? I think that might be the crux of the problem, Gummy. I think that might be it. I mean, if they wanted you to make the cake but don't tell you the gender, it's kind of their fault. Pretty rude to do that to your sister when she wasn't even in charge of the email. Do phones not exist? I mean, it depends on who was supposed to send the gender, but they should have at least checked in. Okay. He hates his sister low-key. Let's see. All right. Hey, so he should continue reaching out. He's in the wrong. All right. Let's see some of these top comments. See what the internet thought. This one is asking for the... Oh, and the OP gave an update. Yes. I love when the OP gives more information. All right. So this commenter asked, I'm confused. Did you not take the opportunity to message as the date was coming closer to tell your sister, hey, I haven't gotten the info on the gender, and can you check on this? And then OP, by the way, for those that don't know, OP means original poster, so the guy who wrote it, just in case. OP, I actually did follow up, asked her a couple days before the reveal if the info had been sent. She said something like, yeah, someone's taking care of it. I figured it was handled. I didn't want to pester her since she seemed chill about it at the time. If she really wanted the gender in the cake, she would have double-checked too. I was relying on the system she set up and didn't come through. Okay. Let's see. Another comment. Why couldn't you have made it yellow and baby-themed or something? It seems pretty vindictive to make a cake a grim cement vibes for an important event where you'd be serving many more people besides your airheaded sister. I understand you were frustrated, but dang, that's all someone is going to remember from the event, which the event now, which is kind of you're the naughty. So I will say that's a good point I didn't think about. He didn't have to make it as miserable and gloomy as possible. Let's say you're on the side where it's like it's her fault for not making sure he got the information. Why did he have to be like kind of spiteful about it? You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's for a gender party, you know? Maybe they changed their mind and they didn't want it to be in the cake, but why'd you have to make it gray? You know what I mean? I feel like that's just such a choice. You know, that's such a choice. You know, you're making a cake for your family members' gender reveal. If you're not gonna do the gender anymore, why would you make it as ugly as you possibly? You know what I mean? Like, am I crazy? All right. Let's see. What else? We got any more comments? Okay, this one's. This commenter said, info. Were you paid for your time and ingredients? That's a good question. Was he paid? And then they say, ETA, OP was not paid for the time or ingredients. Also, they followed up to ask the gender a few days before and was brushed off. Not the naughty, in my opinion. Sis was pretty demanding, and then all the other stuff. Yeah, Gray was a bit harsh, but then be respectful of your family and their donated expertise. Okay. ETA number 2. This thread is not titled, would I do the same thing as OP in a similar situation? It is, am I the naughty? You could equally go with everyone sucks here, and it would be a valid judgment. But if OP is spending his money and ingredients, and sis can't send a simple text message with the details needed to make the free cake, then I'm not really sure what to say. I would have to make it gray? No. But do I fault that OP did? Not really. Okay, interesting. So we're kind of getting all kinds of opinions on this one. So my opinion, honestly, so let me say this. I, as you guys probably know, am extremely airheaded and absent-minded. I am the type that would forget to do everything. And so I empathize with that, but I also understand that is not everyone else's problem. That is my problem. And if I make a mistake, it's not an excuse, and it doesn't make the hurt on other people any less, even if I didn't mean it, right? So him not getting the information to do the thing he's doing for them is not his fault. And the fact that he did check in means he did try to an extent. All right. So she is wrong in that regard. Or if she delegated the task, it's possible she delegated the task to someone else and they dropped the ball. And she, you know, again, with gender stuff, maybe she was so frazzled with everything. She didn't think about it thoroughly, whatever, right? But again, that's not on him. Now, my problem is the gray cake. And this might come from me as a cake decorator as well. A cake, a birthday cake, a gender reveal cake, or just a cake for a party regarding a baby is a big deal. All right. It's just like wedding cakes, birthday cakes. They are a big deal. They can make or break. And I'm not saying it should be this way, but generally for people, it's a big deal. All right. People put a lot of stock into these things. And that's part of why I really like doing cakes, because it really can make people super happy to have a good cake. You know what I mean? I feel like him making the gray cake was just kind of mean. You know? It's really hard for me to get past that. You know? Do I think he is the a-hole for not knowing and just making a random cake? The fact that he's donating it to his family, you know, that's great. It's selfish. It's kind. But I honestly think it might have been better. Honestly. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm just like, if he just didn't make the cake at all at that point. You know what I mean? Because it's like, maybe not. I don't know. I'd have to see the cake, honestly. But I just really feel like the gray cake was purely to make a point. And it seemed a little almost spiteful, if that makes sense. Like, I'm making a point that you never gave me this information. And I need everybody to know that you failed to give me this information. And again, she did. That is not his fault. But I think there was no need to make a miserable gray cake. You know what I mean? I can't get past that, honestly. And maybe it's just my perspective. I don't think it's his responsibility necessarily to check in a bunch of times. You know what I mean? I'm not going to give him crap for that. He checked in once. In theory, it would be nicer for him to check and check and check, but he does not have to do that at all, you know? If he checked once and that's all he was willing to do, that's fair on his end. I just think the gray cake was too mean. And I guess what I would say is this might be a everyone sucks here situation, but I am more mad at him for the gray cake. I know how important cakes can be to people, even if, you know, he came in with the idea of doing a gender reveal cake and now he's just making a random cake because he doesn't really know what to do. You making it gray, you were making a point. You know what I mean? Like there's no way you're not making a point with that, and it just comes off a little mean to me personally. But that's just my perspective. All right, where are we at, everybody else? Let's see. Hang on one second. It's my boyfriend checking in. All right, let's see where we were at. This genuinely feels like a weaponized ignorance thing. Not exactly, but it feels targeted. ETA, he has so many options other than gray, but she could have done any other way for the gender reveal. He could have gotten info on his own, I'm sure. Hey sis, can you give me permission to talk to your doctor about the gender of the baby? Exactly my point. He could have told his sister, hey, so they aren't giving me the gender. Can you allow me access to your doctor? I mean, there's definitely options where he could have reached out to be kinder, for sure. Let's see what we got over here. It's really cool to hear your opinions. Oh, thank you, Mochi. That's so sweet. Oh, listen, I got a lot of opinions, and I don't know if sometimes they're I don't know if they're like, I think most of the time they're like what most people think, but sometimes they're not, you know? So I am curious about that. And I like to do art ones. This is the first time I've done it. And I tried to do artsy ones because we're all art people here. So I thought that would be fun. But I'm glad you like it. Most gender reveals also have a theme. So it's probably could have fit with the theme something. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know. Let's see. Did I miss any over here? Yeah, so, let's see. Gray is kind of mean because, like Gummy said, they could have done both blue and pink. Yeah, gray was just mean. Yeah, honestly, I can't get past the gray. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for the gray, I don't think there would have been a problem at all. I can't see the gray as anything other than him making a point. Like, why else would you make it gray? He made that cake knowing nobody would like that gray cake. You know what I mean? If you were making this cake knowing no one will like this cake, then you are being a jerk. I'm sorry. You're just being a jerk for that. Again, not his fault that he didn't get the information. He even did more than he technically had to by checking in. I have no problems with him for that. The gray is the problem. You're a jerk for doing the gray. I can't get over it. I just, again, as a cake decorator, I could never do that to somebody. That's just so mean. Like, I don't think people... And he's a cake decorator. He should understand how important these things are. It might sound, like, ridiculous to some people, but people put so much stock in those cakes, man. Like, it's a big deal. Literally, I looked up gender neutral, gender reveal cakes, how many there are. Like, you could have just literally made a white cake. Like, anything would have been better than a... Like, he said cement vibes, bro. And maybe if he did this as a joke because he knows his family would find it funny, but that clearly wasn't the case. He knew this would only be upsetting. And it really comes off as selfish. Like, I didn't get the information I was supposed to get, so I'm gonna make a point on her day. You know, like, it's just, No, I'm not a fan. If the cake isn't mochi themed, there's no reason for it. You're darn right, Muggsy! I've never heard a more correct comment. Oh, I'd love to make a mochi cake now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, I'd make her derpy face right on there. It'd be so cute. I would love to do cake decorating again. I would totally open up my own cake decorating shop, but you know how expensive materials are? Goodness gracious. But I would love that so much. Why'd you have to put that in my head? Now I'm gonna be thinking about a mochi cake all night. Also, I would never trust this person again. Yeah, exactly. Like, so something went wrong and you didn't get the information you were supposed to get. So instead of dealing with that in a mature way, you're gonna be spiteful about it, right? Like, nah. Nah, I'm sorry, nah. I don't like that. Just the great part. Take that part out, he's innocent. The great cake is too far. I said, oh, you sent me the cake. I'm sure there's like any cake design would have been fine, you know? Just like a white cake with blue and pink on the inside. I have no clue either on top. Yeah, like why you gotta be a jerk about it? Oh. I want to see real quick before we end the stream if he does any more comments defending himself. Sometimes it's the best with these because they'll do an update post where they're basically like, they'll either do two things. They'll be like, hey guys, this is an update to the story. This is what happened after the fact. Actually, three. That's an option, just saying what happened next, which I love. The second option is that you guys are right, I realized this, or thank you guys for understanding, I'm right, you know, acknowledging that. Or the third one, which is always fun, which is where they're like, you guys are wrong, I'm totally right, here's more justification to why I'm right. Like, oh, I love the updates so much. I'm gonna try to find ones with updates because, oh, they're the best. But I don't see any in here, unfortunately. But yeah, it looks like everybody agrees that he's the naughty as well. And, I think we're in consensus, my doodlers, so we're pretty much all in sync with our opinions today. If you guys enjoyed this, we'll do this again. We'll see how it goes. But I had fun. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So thank you guys for indulging me and giving me your opinions. I appreciated it. It was a lot of fun. Just like a white cake with blue and pink. I'm a true Redditor. There's nothing I love more than, right? Isn't it the best? Oh, I got never into watching Reddit stories, and I was so excited. Because you know Never has very strong opinions as well. So we are both very passionate watching those Reddit stories together. I love them so much. They're so fun. Alright, but thank you, Doodlers. Thank you for letting me doing this. You guys can let me know how you feel about the Reddit stories. You can post it in the Discord if you like care or not, you know. Just if you had any ideas. We could do this again, or we can do the video game next Saturday, or maybe even Friday. You know, Fridays are kind of like, depends which way we go with it. Whatever you think would be more fun. But I think that'll be it today, my lovely doodlers. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry about the service issue. I'm glad it figured itself out. I didn't miss too much time. But alright, we'll see you next time. I love the doubling down ones. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's great. I like when they double down, but then eventually apologize. Those are the top tier, because then you get your rage, but then you also get to be like, he finally gets it. Yay. But alright, doodlers, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good weekend. And don't be a jerk like some of these people. I know you never would. Alright, see you later. Bye-bye. And goodbye, Twitch and YouTube doodlers. Thank you for watching. See you later. Goodbye.